Alright, I do not know when this video will ever be published, but as a recording, it's been more than 12 hours since the final chapter of Blue Box released. And honestly, emotions are kind of high right now, and I'm still processing the fact that an unlikely manga, an unlikely anime that I got introduced to last year and left a humongous impact on my personal life is now ended. So for those who are not aware what the heck I'm talking about or have no idea what the heck is Blue Box or its Japanese name Ao no Hako, it follows the story of this rookie badminton player student. His name is Taiki Inamata, and he goes to the school's gym really early in the morning just to practice his badminton skills and playing just to get better and better and hopefully make it to nationals. But every single morning when he tries to be the first to arrive in the gym, he is always getting beaten or someone else goes there before him, and this person is Chinatsu Kano. This Chinatsu Kano is Taiki's secret crush. And Taiki developed this crush for Chinatsu long before the events of the story. I think around during middle school or the end of junior high, Chinatsu's team lost in a game and she was severely devastated. The entire team was devastated, but unlike the rest of her team, Chinatsu came back to the gym. Even despite the loss of the game, she kept on practicing and practicing basketball with full tears in her eyes and full of emotions. And that was pretty much the spark when Taiki accidentally saw Chinatsu practicing on her own that lit up Taiki's world, and it motivated Taiki to get up really early in the morning and to really practice and get good in badminton. And the rest of the story goes onwards there. Through some connections between Chinatsu's mother and Taiki's mother, they end up living together in the same household, and pretty much the rest is up to you guys to figure out in your own. But what I love instantly from this manga and from this anime, the animation is just absolutely stellar. My god, each frame feels like wallpaper material, and the music as well, the OSTs and the voice acting. Reina Oida, her performance as Chinatsu is absolutely on point, absolutely amazing, and honestly with all the other characters. And that also goes to the manga. The mangaka Kouji Miura, she did a phenomenal job in depicting both the sports element and the romantic side. And especially with the romantic side, there was a lot of care and thought to it. And let me just yap about all the characters. We have Hina Chono, pretty much a childhood friend, and she has to navigate the conflict on supporting Taiki on his ambitions to hopefully end up dating Chinatsu because he really is down bad for Chinatsu. And at the same time, she develops feelings on her own for Taiki. Then we have Kyo, pretty much the GOAT. Kyo is pretty much the GOAT. One of the best wingman characters I've ever met. Honestly, every single person out there deserves a wingman like Kyo. And then we have Ayame, which is pretty much the girl wing woman for Hina. But there's a tendency that you may misunderstand her when you meet her for the first time in a story. But eventually, she becomes very likable and pretty much one of the most underrated characters of the show. Then we have Haryu, which is the senpai, the mentor figure of Taiki when it comes to badminton and even to love and romance. But I want to go back to Chinatsu and Taiki. These two characters, honestly, I never expected them to be so freaking relatable. But man, they really are. Taiki and I, we share this ruthless hustler mindset of just scoring and striving towards our goals and ambitions to the point that we might end up hurting ourselves, to the point that we might tire ourselves out, to the point that we might burn out. Pretty much a very masochistic approach to achieving goals. Taiki can let his emotions get the better of himself, which I relate to a lot sometimes, and he might do things that might end up being really embarrassing, yet has a lot of balls. Taiki has so much balls as a character that Kazuya could never ever have. And honestly, he's just a genuinely nice and friendly guy. He's so kind and caring. He's willing to sacrifice himself and his well-being for the sake of others, whether that be his best friends, whether that be absolute strangers. Bro is absolutely a genuine, sweet, and nice guy, yet at the same time is really competitive and is really driven. And also, last thing that I relate to most is Taiki's insecurities. There's so many arcs that goes throughout the manga and the story where we get a deep dive into Taiki's thought processes, how he goes to imposter syndrome. He has a lot of insecurities, and he has pretty much very low self-esteem throughout most of the manga and the anime, and I honestly relate to that. Yet at the same time, I also relate to Chinatsu. Honestly, I feel like I'm a weird mix between Chinatsu and Taiki. If you combine those two characters together, you pretty much get me. I relate to Chinatsu because if you know your MBTI, people have been saying and comparing her to an INFJ. And I think I am an INFJ. She's also very cute. I love her character design. I know for a fact that Kouji Miura has a very soft side for her. And low-key, showed her supremacy. More than that, Chinatsu possesses that mysterious, cool aura. You know what? That's pretty much the fun of Chinatsu Kano as a reader. You have to really figure out what's going on inside her head because she absolutely doesn't really tell it. There's so many instances where you end up like being really puzzled and be like, what is this girl doing and thinking right now? And that's the fun and the appeal of Chinatsu that I have grown to know and love. She easily gets spaced out and get lost in her own world. And there's probably more to say about each character, but I really find this aspect of Blue Box entirely probably the most relatable and the most inspiring aspect. The dynamic between Chinatsu and Taiki. In all the romantic pairings, I'm pretty much confident that the dynamic between Chinatsu and Taiki is probably one of the most healthiest I've ever seen. Because unlike pretty much what we expect from a romantic pairing where they get really lovey-dovey or they get really clingy towards each other, and a lot of rom-coms go all in, all out, they really capitalize that side of romantic pairings, which I'm not against, but for me personally, I want something more related to ambitions, to goals. And no matter what may happen, they always back each other up. And also these two characters, especially Taiki, even if he's so madly in love, he uses the crush for Chinatsu as not a goal, but as a means towards his goal. He keeps on telling himself that I'm not going to ask Chinatsu out if I'm still this bad of a player in badminton. I'm not going to ask Chinatsu out if I'm not going to reach to nationals. Bro uses the crush as a motivator to get good, not just in the sporting aspect, but probably even as a person. And Chinatsu is inspired by Taiki's never back down, never give up mentality or attitude, no matter how tough it is for him, because he is an underdog, he is a rookie. He really started off in the anime being really average. But seeing Taiki make progress, little progress, beating this opponent, achieving a certain goal, it inspires Chinatsu. So they also inspire one another, which, wow, let's just speak. And it's not just Taiki and Chinatsu. I have to bring back Hina because Hina also possesses that side of her where she locks in towards a goal and she is willing to go above and beyond just for the sake of her goal. And honestly, you can pair Taiki and Hina and Taiki and Chinatsu. Here's the thing with Blue Box, by the way, especially with the first season, with the first major arcs, it will dive into a love triangle aspect. But it's actually a very realistic and very plausible love triangle where it kind of makes sense. You're the childhood friend supporting your guy friend who has a crush on someone else. That's the love triangle aspect. Not like your typical love triangle aspect where two people are very close to being together and then someone butts in out of the blue. No, the relationship between Hina and Taiki already established, but Taiki really likes Chinatsu. And Hina sees Chinatsu and Taiki as a good pair. Chinatsu sees Taiki and Hina as a good pair. So you can never go wrong with either pairing. But I'm not going to spoil who's going to be the winning pair in the end. And I want to also open up that probably why I love this anime so much, and I feel like it has left such a big impact on my life other than Bocchi the Rock, is the fact that when I discovered this story, I was really, really in a bad place. I was so mentally devastated. I had gone through so much mental breakdown, so many thoughts of ending it all, so many thoughts of self-hatred, of self-loathing. And there was also this period where I doubted myself as a YouTuber. I doubted myself as a Discord server owner. And I left the Read Hotspot for like 4 months during this period. Pretty much this anime, this story, this manga brought me back together. It indirectly, I do not know how, but it reminded me of my life's purpose, my life's drive, my life's ambition, probably because of how much the story revolves around ambition. And it made me reconnect with people that I've severed ties with last year. It brought back the passion, the drive to lock in and to make more content. And even though I'm still struggling right now as a content creator and figuring out what works and what not works, this story has really inspired me to just keep on locking in. I absolutely feel like Taiki. I've seen other people going way beyond me now, are having more views, having more subscribers, that back then they were at the same level as I am, and I hear stuck with not a lot of views but not a lot of subscribers compared to them. That's the key point, compared to them. But I'm going to be patient. I just gotta keep on improving and be better as a person and in my craft and whatever career I might end up being. So, yeah, I'm really gonna miss this. I'm honestly going to miss this so much. I love how each character was written, how each character was portrayed. Even characters that started off as antagonists, I even grew to love and appreciate. I love the world, I love the atmosphere, I love the vibe that this entire manga and anime depicted and portrayed. It really resonated with my heart. And honestly, the only thing I can say is thank you so much, Kouji Miura. You have been working on this manga for more than 5 years and you deserve a break. You deserve all the time you need to rest and to recuperate. But yeah, that's my unfiltered, unscripted appreciation of love for Blue Box. I highly recommend this, by the way. I feel like even if it won't impact your life that much as the same way it did to me, I feel like you're still gonna have a fun time following a story that has the sports element but is mainly a romance. It's both comforting as well as existential. There's a lot of lessons that you will learn from this manga. And shout out to the channel members for their endless support. And to you the viewer for watching this video till the end. That's all the time I have for now.